Hello from me too. My name is ZARKADA and I will present to you the performance of a pilot constructed wetland in nutrients removal from domestic wastewater. Constructed wetlands are defined as engineered systems designed to simulate natural processes occurring in natural wetlands in favor of wastewater treatment. I will skip the area of implementation because it has been thoroughly referred, so I will continue to the types, and I would like to focus on the main differentiation between the horizontal flow and the vertical flow systems. The vertical flow systems enable a better oxygenation of the percolation bed, so in case that we want to degrade our pollutant and the favorable conditions are oxy conditions, the vertical flow systems are best suited. The scope of this paper is to evaluate the nutrients removal effectiveness through chemical analysis of influence and effluence in a pilot hybrid wetland. In the next slides, you can see the design characteristics of the wetland and the reason why they were selected, the methodology of the experiment, the construction part, the operation regime, and the chemical analysis, and finally the results. In order to select the favorable design characteristics, the first part is to understand the removal mechanism within the wetland. We would like to purify nitrogen and phosphorus within the wetland, so we will focus on nitrogen and phosphorus removal mechanisms. There are three main removal mechanisms within the constructed wetland, as it has already been said. The microbes, which degrade through their respiration, the flora, and particularly the emergent microphytes that oxygenate the percolation bed. They stabilize and protect by cold weather. They adjust the redox potential, and they, in general, provide a favorable condition for microbes. Substrate, on the other hand, also provide adsorption sites for pollutants degradation, and they also establish favorable environmental conditions for microbes. There is a large variety of substrates, and according to the different needs, different substrates can be, and combinations of them can be selected. All these components together are related, and they adjust oxygen solubility and availability within the wetland, the pH, the temperature, the carbon source, and the redox potential, and they all together are adjusted by weather conditions. In order to illustrate the interdependent nature in a constructed wetland, I can show you this table, and I can give you the example of the nitrification process according to this. According to which only under anoxic conditions can microbes degrade nitrates into gaseous nitrogen through their respiration. Microbes use oxidants as electron acceptors only under these conditions. So it is clear that the soil, the microbes, and the plants all are interdependent and interrelated. Nitrogen has different needs in relation to phosphorus within the wetland. This is the nitrogen cycle within the wetland. If we want to degrade ammonia into gaseous nitrogen, we have to the ammonia has to be hydrolyzed and then nitrified. Ammonium ions have to be nitrified into nitrates and then into nitrates, and then the nitrates have to be denitrified into the gaseous form in order the pollutant to be degraded. Nitrification presupposes oxy conditions, while denitrification presupposes anoxy conditions. So we can conclude that for optimal nitrogen removal, we need a succession of oxic and anoxic conditions. So a vertical flow and horizontal flow system can be suitable. The vertical flow system, as already been said, provides a better oxygenation of the substrate, so it is selected for this reason. On the other hand, phosphorus is present in the wetland as organically bound phosphorus, polyphosphates and orthophosphates. The main removal mechanism is complexation and sedimentation in the substrate. So the basic factors that can affect phosphorus removal within the wetland are sorption by metals and competition with other ions. Metals are very important to be present in the substrate because they can provide adsorption sites. And organic load, for example, competes with phosphorus complexation because it competes for these adsorption sites. So the conclusion for optimal phosphorus removal is that we need a cell which can provide oxy conditions with a metal-rich substrate in absence of organic matter. We want oxy conditions because under anoxy conditions, the orthophosphates that have complexated into in the substrate can be released again in the substrate, in the wastewater. So to combine the two different needs, we propose a three-cell constructed wetland in a vertical flow, a horizontal flow, and again a vertical flow cell. In the first cell, the targeted removal process is nitrification. In the second, denitrification, and in the third cell, phosphorus complexation and sedimentation. All this theoretical approach has been implemented in the experiment. Here you can see the characteristics of the three different cells. As you can see in the third cell, there is a limestone substrate. This limestone substrate has been chosen in order to, because it is rich in argillum and magnesium and asbestium and calcium. So it can stimulate for orthophosphates complexation. Here are some pictures from the construction part, but these pictures, I don't know. Okay. The substrate was washed up, and the cells had the form of barrels that were connected with one another via hoses, and this is the system. If you want to see it. So the methodology. Sorry. Okay, the methodology in detail. Domestic wastewater was collected and transported from Kavala's biological treatment plant. Fragmites australis were transplanted from riparian area. The hydraulic loading was adjusted in order the wastewater to cover 70% of the substrate, in order the surface to be subsurface flow, in order the flow to be subsurface. The sample was conducted via plastic bottles, and it was stored in the refrigerator no more than 3 days after the sampling. There were 3 sampling times, and the chemical analyses were made were pH, conductivity, biological oxygen demand in 5 days, chemical oxygen demand, total phosphorus, total nitrogen nitrates, and total suspended solids. There was an acclimated period for the plants to thrive in the wetland. Potable water was introduced every 2 days, and the sample times were 3, as already been said, and the hydraulic residence time was 3 days in each cell, 9 days in total. The main laboratory equipment used was the Hack-Lang spectrometer, the thermostat. No thermostat. the pH meter and the conductivity meter. I will skip this. Okay. The results. Total nitrogen performance was very good. There was above 90% removal, and this was consistent with EU legislation on concentration in effluents. So was total phosphorus performance that was above 85% in the 3 saplings. Organic load was also, performance was also very good. As far as COD was concerned, the removal was up to above 80%, and as well as biological oxygen demand, yes, which was the removal was very good. But the problematic part was total suspended solids. This could be, the problem could be overcome if a filter can be used in the exit point in order the substrate not to exit. It can be seen in the 3rd sapling time that part of the effluent, that total suspended solids in effluents were more than in influents. That means that was a substrate release. pH was typical and conductivity was also adjusted. So the conclusions and further research. The hybrid 3-cell vertical flow, horizontal flow, vertical flow system is suitable for nutrients removal. The pilot system performed very well, and the quality of the effluent was consistent to European legislation for all parameters except for total suspended solids. The installation of a sedimentation tank or a filter media, as already been said, is proposed to overcome the limitation in total suspended solids removal. The seasonal treatment fluctuations were not examined, and the performance for other pollutants are also unknown, for example, pathogens, heavy metals, and pharmaceuticals. Thank you very much. I would like to show you this example of Omega Center for Sustainable Living. I think that it is very interesting. There are constructed wetlands operating in the building. Thank you very much for your attention. Oh, sorry.
Thank you so much. The questions, please. We've had a really interesting presentation, including the theoretical considerations of how to better remove different nutrients, phosphorus and nitrogen, and then the very interesting experimental part followed. And what is really important, that the further research directions and area are also outlined. So it's really a comprehensive work. So. Thank you a lot. Maybe someone has the other remarks or questions or some general points to be stressed. Please, please, I cannot see you well. Excuse me. Mm-hmm.
As far as I know, other types of natural systems are the stabilization ponds. Yeah, but this was not in my field of study, so you can ask someone who has, you know, a better theoretical, you know.